got to talk about at the end. One that I always bring up, please come out, suggestions. We'll get to probably later on, it's under new business. The retaining wall we talked about last meeting in section 29 is complete, the first stage of it. Because of some things we're going to continue on that project. I happened to buy some extra here, we had some extra over, so it's not going to cost me a lot of money, and I want to go ahead and finish that so I can get that all graded and fixed and whatnot, so we're going to go ahead and finish that project. The second line was the cold storage. Originally, we were talking about a 40 by 40. Got with the city engineer. Originally, thought it wasn't going to be a big deal. After a few months, it became a big deal. He could not stamp it. He's a liquid engineer. So I'm trying to write it up for us to bid because it was going to be around 70,000. I'm going to have to do it, get it to an engineer, which I have one to do. We started looking at it, and with the great COVID and everything going on and material pricing, they were having trouble getting rafters and stuff. So we've decided, the gentleman I want to do it, if the price is in range, said, why don't we go with one unattached? Because what happened is, the structure of the building I have now, of course, has a header, but it's a pole barn. Right. My guess is a single 2x12 on the outside, inside. That's normally how they do it. So the structural issue is, will it hold a lean-to? Yeah. I get that. Then they wanted to go over the top with an extension roof, and I went, no. So we made it 25 by 40, and it's going to be a freestanding. We're going to move 5 feet away from the building. We'll put an overhang so we kind of walk through there and eventually tie it in if we want to later on. So we're all set to go. I was waiting on the guy that I want to do to give me a quote, because we think we can do this under 50,000, which I still have to get the structural engineering done, but I don't have to go through the bid process. And he called me, he said, and he's very busy anyway, but he said, Hal, I'm having trouble. I said, what's wrong? He said, because of material and stuff, quotes are only going out 3 days instead of a month. Well, we get a price, that's what I want to know, because I can draw it. Right. And then I can send it to, I need to engineer it. Well, by the time you engineer it, it may double. You don't know. He said the market's just going nuts right now. So we both agreed for our benefit is just hold off for a year. I will put it in my next budget for this. The ground is all prepped. We've done that ourselves in-house. So we've got the tile in, all the stuff in we need to do. It just needs to be board, posts, and go. We're not going to pour concrete floor currently. This time we'll see what next year brings. So it's not going to hurt anything for that to settle. Is it prepped? So you know what that entails is there was minimal cost. It was labor. Actually, it was all labor. Dustin at the street department crushed all his concrete and offered, he has a mountain if you go out there, but he said you can have as much as you want. So we have 14 inches of base of that stuff in for the structure of the bottom, and then what we'll do is peel off 4 inches if we ever want to pour it type thing. So it is all ready, but we're just going to put it on hold. The market's just kind of going nuts. And really for the taxpayers, this isn't a bad thing. We'll wait till it stables a little bit and see what the money is. Things calm down a little bit if the material get in. They're saying just, I went the other day and picked up, what did I pick up? I'm sorry. I think it was 12 2x4s, 14. Thinking in my day, builder, I'd be around $100. It was 201. So price of material is very, very expensive. How the housing is going, I don't know, but people are paying. It's nuts. So anyway, that's going to be on hold currently. Still want to do it. The reason is, I think we explained before, if you come out the cemetery, I have the double garage, I have the chapel, and I have stuff. We switch stuff all the time, and I want to get it back there. So we're just moving in and out. There's a lot of stuff we can put in there because I choose to keep my equipment indoors because weather will beat it up and won't last as long. So that's the reason I want to do the cold storage. Plus, I need a place to put the sleigh, and nobody will take the sleigh. So if I get cold storage, they can put the sleigh in there if they want. Jokingly. To this co-mingling, we're on there. We talked a little bit about it earlier. I'm just going to bring it up. I know we have to take a vote. All 4 of you have said yes to this. If it's okay with you two, I am just going to continue with the gentleman. We're going to do it, and then we'll just make it a vote later on. Do we have any problems with that?
No problems at all.
Okay, so if you would put that in the minutes, that we're just going to move forward with it, and then we'll talk about it someday when we have enough. Okay? New business. Well, two things here. Part-time employees, we talked a little bit before. One is with me, it's two started, one did not last. I have two starting next week, I believe. I know one is a school teacher, and he had to teach summer school because of COVID. They're trying to catch some kids up, and then he'll be joining me then. That's Dan Gauze, he's been with me 12 years. So I have another new one, and then the one that quit, Jennifer's looking in to replace. We have some other kids that wanna work, and so we'll probably get that. That gives me 4, so we can get some other projects done. And these 5 guys that I have, just to brag a little bit, they have, through this time, mowed everything and weed whacked everything and kept it, and I mean, that's pushing for 5 guys. So these 4 guys help a lot.
I will say it looked very nice Monday.
Thank you, thank you.
Very nice.
And on that, do we have, I'm sorry, I keep jumping ahead. On that, with the Memorial Day at the end, what happened in Memorial Day, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, the guys at the Legion are getting up in years, and there's not a lot of guys that can do a lot of stuff, and I don't mean that mean, they served us, they've done a lot, but they're at that age where it's tough for them to do stuff. So last year with COVID, they came out and fired at the 2 circles. Okay, that's what they did during COVID last year. Well, Memorial coming up, we technically at the cemetery do nothing, okay, and except, I mean, prepare the grounds, which we do every week. Do we do a little extra? The guys work so hard, we actually got to mow a little extra, but with that performance, people understand that's all theirs. They're just using my facility to honor their fallen buddies, okay, so you understand. A lot of people, I've had to explain that this year a little bit. Well, anyway, Ken Locke, which I love to death, came to me. He actually is doing, this is his 2nd year. Last year he did it outside. This year I let him use the chapel. It's a thing with the Salvation Army that they do on Sunday. It's kind of Salvation Army. We're looking, he's talked to me and we've talked it out a little bit, kind of expanding where they may do their stuff and set a tent outside the chapel and just offer prayer for people that want to pray for their loved ones that happen to be out there as a service. I think it's really cool to offer. It's not a evasive thing where they're going to go after. They might put up a little banner and the people would have to come to them. They did last year when they were out. He said a couple came in to see what was going on this year. With that, Ken, vet himself, has talked with the Legion, so he is the one that did the memorial service. We figured the stuff in the paper was incorrect. They were misinformed. It just said something at the circle. They didn't say anything about being in the chapel. We set up around 70 to 80 chairs. Ken come out, looked at it, he said, that should be fine. I gave him a key, took care of it, he goes, you don't have to be here. And I said, but you know I will be. I popped in, I didn't work. I just made sure everything was okay, the facility was working fine. Had a lady come that wanted to be anonymous and said, there's not enough chairs, I'll buy you more chairs. We have plenty of chairs, okay? It's not that. We set it up because that's how many. We ended up about 150. Ken said, look, pretty good. He said he loves the chapel because it's indoors. He said they had a sound system that they could hook into mine and it worked fine. If it gets over 150, they'll probably have to go back outdoors. According to the thing on the thing that I didn't post, it said it holds more, but that's, I don't think I can get, it says like 285. I believe that has to be the garage and everything. So we're gonna check the square footage to know exactly. But I don't mind using it for that. So Ken will probably be the one that takes over this now and do it.
And he's with the Salvation Army, correct?
Yeah, he runs the Salvation. He's always been with the Salvation Army, but he actually runs it now. Ken was big into the food and distribution and stuff like that, and then he's always been out. Like I say, great guy. He does. Got me a flag. They come out and do the Agent Orange thing. When I forget when that is. And I'm sorry, I forget what month that is. But I set the flag out, and they have a little thing at Legion 3 on that. And he's very active in this stuff. So I don't bring guys in like I did before. I mean, I'm there just a little bit to spot check, so it's a little less, so I kind of get the time off. Instead of directing traffic, if it gets bigger, then we'll go back to that. But right now, that's kind of what's happened on Memorial Day. Ken said it went great. I said it was really good, so I don't mind hosting the facility. And so you guys know, with this COVID thing, the mayor was opening up facilities for these shots and stuff. So HR and some people were a little worried about where we were going to have meetings. Well, that chapel sits a lot. So I paid Brady to put Wi-Fi in it, so it is technically ready if somebody wanted to come in, had to bring equipment in and it needed Wi-Fi. It's part of, I'll use the word master plan. I need to set power over on Grant Street, and then I can ping and I can put Wi-Fi out in that cemetery eventually, get most of it. So it's kind of a step towards that is what I'm doing, but also to help out if Jennifer needs it or somebody needs it for a seminar or whatever. So it is set for that. Because the only other time we use it is voting, and one funeral home will use it, unless I push them in there. If we have a bad grave site, then they have to go in there, if I can't have the people out there. So anyway, kind of a long story there. Number 2 on the list, I was hoping they would come, but I think they don't want to. And the VFW, this is Tom Kinch. I always get them mixed up sometimes because I talk to both of them. Tom came to me, and the VFW, for some reason, has to get rid of so much money. And so they were trying to think what they could do with it. When I started in '07, between the Legion and them would buy the flags that I fly. That lasted maybe 2 years. They don't have funding. I don't mind doing it. And of course, I do all the military flags and stuff like that. They've decided they have, for some reason, have to disperse money. They have decided to donate $500 to Oakwood Cemetery. I've checked with Lynn. I do have a donation account. Didn't know that. Sorry, haven't got very many. So that's something we can carry over. So that'll help buy and purchase those flags. So I think they're just going to give me a check. I offered them to come if they wanted to and give it, but I think they just want to give us a check. I haven't got it yet, but I'll let you know when I do. So I thought that was kind of nice, and I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. Already talked about the retaining wall. So that is done. We had a small thing, just so I wanted in the minutes. We thought it was vandalism. In an area down, we had 2 beautiful white angels that sat on a wall at a grave. Been there ever since I've been there, if not before. One was tipped over and broke. Weren't sure why. The people, of course, were upset. I won't blame them. They weren't blaming us. The gal drove out of town and found 2 other angels. I went by Friday. It was fine. I went through Monday. It was nosedived and broke up here. So she had called the police to explain what was going on. I'm sorry, I'm going to get my days mixed up. I think this is Thursday. It might have been yesterday or Tuesday. I think it was yesterday. Mr. Sherwin called me. We talked over the phone a little bit about what's going on, if I talked to him and everything else. Sweet people. That's the daughter that I've been dealing with. Anyway, I said, I'm going to quiz my guys one more time. My guys are great about telling me they break, accidents happen. I totally get that. I don't freak out. If it happens more than once, we got to deal with it. But, you know, they have no problem saying, hey, Al, I broke this. If I have to buy a pot, whatever. Anyway, one of my gentlemen that went to part-time mows all the time for me now. And in this area, he had changed the way he turned. It's a tight area. It's hard to explain, but he turned. Normally, we just turn and then weed whack. Well, when you mow all day, even me, I try to get as close as I can to save the weed whackers some time. Well, he was backing up. He didn't know he was hitting them. He was backing up real slow and he was pushing them off. Because when we talked about it, he goes, Hal, I bet that was me. So what I went up is the angels are still sitting there, and even the one that's damaged. And I put a tape measure behind it, moved it, and I said, okay, just do what you do. So I'm standing, it's a wall about 4 feet high. I'm standing on the end. He went and turned around, he backed up to clean, and he went over that tape measure. But he had no idea he was hitting it. He was just pushing it out. So anyway, with that, I told her I wanted to buy the 2 and then one to replace that, because she had to buy new ones because we broke the white one, and then one to replace the damage. It comes, I believe, just around $209. So I wanted to make sure that it was in the minutes. I'll get with Lynn to make sure we pay her. She's not upset. They understand. At first, she really didn't want anything, but I said, no, we damaged these. I wanted to take care of them. They're about 80, 90 pounds each. They're heavy. It's all I can do to pick them up, put them on there. So it's just...
Don't drop them when you put them on.
No, it's just the right thing to do. And like I say, none of this has been a problem. We were going to set up a camera. We thought we had vandalism, and it's not. It's just a pure accident that he didn't even know. Because then she even said, I know your guys. And I'm like, yeah, they would all come to me. There would be one that wouldn't, you know, because we, as much as we go around those stones, we break pots and stuff like that. And I just replace them, that's what we do. But I thought this one, because it's a little bit more money, I just wanted to have it in the minutes for that. With that, not on here, a couple things, and it's fine if you want to report it, it's not a definite yet. The first thing is our pricing is going to go up. I have a suggestion ready, but I've not met with the mayor. Once I get the mayor's okay, and then I'll talk to you, and then it will go to the council for approval. I think it's 2 readings, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah.
You have to. But I just wanted to hint, and if you put something in, that's totally fine, because what's going to happen is they're all going to come in and buy the lots that's been sitting, well, supposedly for a long time. That's the second thing. We tell everybody 60 days, okay? And it was before, it was multiple lots. We cut that to individual lots.
Right.
We were holding on to quite a bit. A thing I did in '07, there wasn't many before that. I always felt that a spouse needs to be next to their loved one. They're not really coming back and paying for them. I have some 2012, 2016. I had one lady come in and said, well, she remarried and moved. So we're going to take those off. There's no stone on them. Of course, they can't because they have to own the lot before you put a stone on them. So we're going to put them back up for sale. Worst case, the spouse will have to be cremated, can be put on top of their loved one. It's just with land and what things cost and how we keep track, it's just, and I'm not talking 1 or 2, we're talking several. And I still feel that way, but when you give them that many years, they should have come in and taken care of it. And we're really lenient. I mean, if 60 days come up and I've had them, they called and said, hey, look, with the financials, we ain't been able to, I said, I'll start it over. They're trying. Or someone wants a few lots and they'll pay on one every month. Totally okay with that. It's a little flexible, but just so you know, I will have that. I get some recourse from it, but it's way past the 60 days. I mean, we're talking years. So we're going to start taking those single lots. A lot of them don't know it, probably don't remember. And what happens is, and no defense to them, a lot of them get remarried or they move and they're going to be buried somewhere else. Well, there sits a lot that we could be using. Because we get a lot, and I'm the same way. I've been there 14 years in July and haven't bought mine yet. But a lot of people procrastinate and don't, and then they want to be by their family. Well, we're 4 roads away by now. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So that's what I like about the cremains. Not everybody's for it, but you can put 4 on top of a full body, so you can be there if you want to be, if you want to do that. So just so you know, that's going to change. I told Leanne that I would make that announcement in here, just so you guys know, and then we're going to start. We don't have a lot of phone numbers anymore. She tried a few and no answers. So just want to let that know. That's going to happen. I'll take the complaints. That's fine. It is what it is. But I just can't justify. I mean, I don't know the count. I don't want to give you a number, but I'm going to guess it's over 50. Probably, maybe less than that now because I cut some out a year ago. But that's just a lot of lots to hang on to do this. So definitely we'll reach out to the ones we have phone numbers and make sure, and just to say, hey, you know, it's been 3-4 years. Do you want this? We just came one the other day. It's actually family member put one on hold, whatever, and they have another family member that wants to be buried by this one. Well, found out this one got remarried, doesn't even live here anymore. So Leanne's like, what do you do? I said, sell it to them. It was 2012. So just, you know, you may hear some stuff or whatever, and it might be some people get excited about that, and we will take care of it, but just so you know. I think that's about it. Like I said, I already bragged on the guys. They've done a wonderful job. It looks wonderful. The new wall looks great. So you know that's on that lake road, and we moved it back enough that we're going to gain about 3 feet of road, just to make it a little wider so it doesn't look so narrow going through there. We have a couple more projects. Can't say it's going to be this year. I need to buy new flagpoles. The one I bought are not, they're $100 flagpoles and they're not wind resistance, and they're doing this. I've had them break. So we're going to buy a little better ones. My problem is I can't get an answer on Space Force. If it's going to stay, it's considered a branch currently under the Trump administration, but rumors out they're trying to take it away. And if that's the case, I have to fly 6 flags instead of 5. So I'm trying to find that out, because our goal is to put new poles out there, and then the gentleman that's doing my wall work is giving me a quote. We're gonna put block around that and make it a little nicer than what it is. That's one project, and then the salt has attacked the block at the office, so, and it's starting to deteriorate, we're gonna have to redo that. So that's two of the projects coming up, probably next year. One of them maybe this year, but the other two, so, and we'll probably hold off on the flag one, except I may order some flagpoles. I just haven't found anybody with the authority to tell me if I have to or not. Because they all have to fly, it's hard to add on. They all have to fly a certain distance apart, and they all have to be the same height. And Coast Guard is the last one, they get bumped. They have to move down. The rules are amazing if you ever want to get into that. I don't think I could have been a soldier. I wouldn't remember all the rules. So anyway, that's a couple things coming on. I'll let you know next meeting what. Like I say, we're just maintaining, got some work to do. The new road is just, I guess I didn't say anything, it is ready. The grass is coming in really, really good, except around Seaman. We're working on that a little harder. I have to put in my budget next year to get water out there. I skipped a road, so I got to get that in. I have prepared with some tile underneath that road to move already. I did that before we did the road. I guess we'll determine when we open it. We have people that want to go out there. I'll try to get with the mayor next week to see if we want to do the increase before we open it, or just open it now and here in another month or so. So I've just kind of postponed. We're not short yet, but I just wanted to let that grass grow and get it in. The pins are all in, and we're ready to go. Other than that, I have nothing else unless
Did
you.
the water all turned on this year?
Yes.
Any problems with the water? Any past you had?
No leaks. Now,
Okay, good,
with that,
good.
The hydrants stand like this.
Yep.
We've had, before I turned the water on, fixed 4 that were doing this. People like to pull off the road and then bend them over and not tell me about them, but they were deep enough. We don't think we cracked them. I have no leaks currently. So,
Good.
currently, yes, so the water is on, yes. It is on so far. We'll see. I haven't got the water bill going, your rate's really high. So all the flowers are planted. I can't think of her name, I'm so the gal out on Winona that has a Butch shop. Butch used to have it.
Leonard Sherman?
Yeah, Lynn and Sherman.
Sherman and Lynn.
Sherman, Lynn, whatever, yeah. The gal that owns it now, Butch helps her, comes from Arizona, helps her. But anyway, we always buy the flowers that go in cremation 1. Well, she has a grandfather out there, and she came and planted them for free for us this year, which was very nice. Yeah, yeah, so that was very, very nice. But other than that, that's all I have. Any other questions? Ms. Laskus, and you're just writing totally there, and I go kind of fast, I apologize. Public speaking wasn't my issue, my forte, but any questions, or?
The lots that you're talking about putting back up for sale,
Uh-huh.
are those are ones people reserve but haven't paid any on?
What happens a lot of times is in the business we're in, of course you understand, it's a really bad time. So a lot of times, they may not be prepared for funerals and lots. They have to own the one that the person is going in. So instead of us saying, you have to buy 2 lots, as long as they purchase that one, that's fine. We let them put one on hold for 60 days. Just because you think they want to be, and they probably do. And what's happened is we're just having several of them that aren't coming back. Like I say, they're years old.
What if somebody paid $50 on one 10 years ago and never came back? Are you taking that one back and just sending their $50?
No, prior to me, back in the old days, they took money. Now it has to be all or nothing.
Okay.
We cannot, I've had several, actually, people, sweet people that just don't have all the money, so they'll start to save, and then 60 days, they may call me and say, hey, I have half of it. All right, I'll put a new date on it, and they'll work, because they're really trying to get it. Follow me? We're pretty lenient, is what we are. But I'm just seeing too many of them on hold. And what would happen is, you have to go all the way out, where the new area is. Well, people want to be by their families and need one lot. It's like, I had one the other day, the lady, they had 4 lots, they bought 2, put 2 on hold. 4 years ago, I had somebody that had family right next to it, land, so we do sell. Was not happy. 4 years, not 60 days, 4 years. Can't, we don't publicize them or try to get rid of them, but if somebody is next to a loved one, then we're gonna sell them. Same thing here. They still may be there. The only way we're gonna get rid of them, because they're one lots, is somebody needs a single, and hey, mom and dad are here, grandma and grandma, we'd like to be next to them, then we will sell. I mean, we'll put them back up for sale, but we're not gonna go, hey, it's a yard sale or something. We'll just sell them if somebody needs them. Follow me? That's what we've been doing for years, as I've taken some off. So it isn't like panic right away, you don't get that many, but it's just so hard now because I'd be the same way. Mom and dad is 4 roads over and they thought they had plenty of time, where now it just fills up because we're seeing more than like people coming in buying 2, they'll buy 6 and yeah, it's all emotions is what drives it usually, and that's okay. So that's what it is. So it's not like we're just gonna take these people that come in for lots and point them out. We will take them out where we normally do. If they happen to say, hey, I have one on Oak or whatever, then if we happen to have one, we'll do it.
Okay,
Okay, that makes sense?
yeah.
Some of them were Medicaid or welfare, so we'll be real lenient about those, because if the spouse didn't have money to bury, we'll try to be lenient on it. But what's really cool too, and it's not everybody's forte, is ashes. I mean, they can always be on top. So it's not totally taken away from them. I know some don't believe that, but like I say, it won't be gone tomorrow, I guess. It'll just be, if a fluke happens, which one's close. But I wanted the board to understand that's what we're gonna do, because we're just sitting on too many. Anything else?
Yep.
Well, the rest will be up to you two if you want to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
All right.
July the 1st. That's
Be here
crazy.
before you know it. These months are flying.
I
They
know
really,
it.
really are. These months are really, really flying. You ever want to come out and see a really cool tool?